continuing with the Holy Grail Wisdom Quotes by me, Pete Rogers, alphabetical order. We're doing Ayn Rand. Now, Ayn Rand, I'm just going to tell you, when I first heard about Ayn Rand, I was a young guy, and I only had heard bad things about her. I heard that she was a total bitch, totally selfish, evil, cheated on her husband, hypocrite, that she was on welfare for a while later in her life, despite criticizing it earlier. I heard nothing but bad things about her, okay? And just sort of on a whim, I was collecting quotes. I figured I'd look at her quotes, and I was like, holy crap. She was like, blowing it out of the water. She was such a genius. I'm like, holy crap, this is the smartest woman I ever saw in my life. And then I decided to read the book, Atlas Shrugged, and it was an incredible book. So anyways, this will be just part one of Quotes by Ayn Rand. Her quotes are extraordinary. I mean, there's nothing like it, okay? She's a can't-miss person that everybody should know about. Her best book was actually The Romantic Manifesto about how to write a novel. Okay, anyways, so she was a Jewish lady born in Russia. She's the smartest woman who ever lived. She's certainly the most influential female philosopher who ever lived, by far. She had good reason to hate the Soviet communists, the Bolsheviks. They took away her father's job. The family went from being wealthy to being poor. They killed the man she loved. She saw some of her friends starve to death. She had to flee Russia. So she was a very powerful anti-communist. She never had any children herself. Her favorite writer was Victor Hugo, the French novelist. Her second favorite would be Fyodor Dostoevsky, the Russian novelist. Her favorite novel was Quo Vadis by Henry Sienkiewicz, the Polish writer. And here she says, collectivism is a stampede of losers led by crooks over the intelligent, hardworking, good men of a society. What basically happens is you have a smart person, a group of people that want to take over a country. And they recognize that there's currently a group of people that are in power. And then they notice there's a whole bunch of other people who feel disenfranchised. So what they do is they stir up hatred amongst the disenfranchised against the group that they see as being in power, or they see as their competing opponent to grab total power. Okay, so that's how they do it. And it's brilliant. Okay, it's evil, but it's brilliant. Okay, so Ayn Rand, if a man's view of the world are wrong, it leads him to act as his own destroyer. So kids are taught in the public schools incorrect information that turns them against themselves and makes them destroy themselves. Oh, but I'll just be a hedonist, become a drug addict, and damage their brains, destroy their career opportunities. That's what happens, okay? And go against themselves, go against their parents, their own religion, etc. The public schools are designed to do that, okay? She says, Hume was the Bertrand Russell of his time. Yeah, always playing like logical games. Kant, Hume, and Bertrand Russell are all kind of in the same category in my opinion. People who play all these like word games to prevent an intelligent discussion of a subject. Okay. Ayn Rand continues, we are fast approaching the stage of ultimate inversion, the stage where the government is free to do anything it pleases, while the citizens may only act by permission. This is the stage of the darkest periods of human history, the stage of rule by brute force. The difference between socialism and communism is the difference between suicide and murder. Communism enslaves men by murder, socialism by manipulation of the vote. The truth is only for those. I'm kind of jumping from topic to topic here. Just a quick introduction. I'm going to have tons more quotes by Ayn Rand, but just to give you a sense of her brilliance, it jumps off the page. The truth is only for those who seek it. The smallest minority on earth is the individual. Those who deny individual rights cannot claim to be defenders of minorities. That's an important point too. And basically, she makes a point. If you give individual rights, all other rights will follow from that. That's why individual rights are the most important rights, because they lead to all the other good rights. Okay? The basic need of the Creator is independence. It demands total independence in function and motive. Okay, her next quote, Ayn Rand. The uncontested absurdities of today are the accepted slogans of tomorrow, until one day they are the country's official ideology. Yeah, so, people fell for BS 30 years ago, started letting it slip into pop culture, and all of a sudden now it'll control you. Political correctness, all the nonsense there. Okay, she says, every movement that seeks to enslave a country needs a scapegoat, somebody to blame it all on. Okay, Ayn Rand continues, needs a scapegoat on which to blame its troubles and to justify its demands for dictator power. In Germany, it was the Jews. In Russia, it was the bourgeoisie, the kulaks. And in the USA, it is the businessman. Okay, so like I said, somebody wants to grab power. What they do is they figure out who is their opponent or who's going to block them, and then they just demonize that person and stir up all the disenfranchised, poor people, frustrated people to hate the scapegoat. So then they can push the scapegoat out of the way, and then they grab total power. That's how it works. Okay, we are born unarmed. The only thing we have is our mind to protect ourselves. Okay, Ayn Rand continues. Philosophy and modern art have been degraded into an abysmal triviality. Yes, because true philosophy leads you to the truth, and that's a good, powerful thing. So philosophy is destroyed just into a bunch of word games. And art ennobles you, teaches you the thoughts and skills of your ancestors that you can build upon. So art has been destroyed as well by modern art. It's all fake, a bunch of nonsense. I did a video about The Painted Word, the book by Thomas Wolfe, which pretty much summarizes the art movement, how it was intentionally destroyed. Ayn Rand continues, Immanuel Kant is the most sophisticated and most nuanced of the defenders of altruism. To defend altruism was his goal. He even said that to defend altruism was his goal. So she hates Immanuel Kant. She described Immanuel Kant, the German philosopher, as the first hippie, as the most evil philosopher who ever existed. And he was. He tried to make men deny their own ability to use their mind, their own ability to reason, by saying you couldn't trust the thoughts of your own mind, you couldn't trust your senses. And I agree with her. Immanuel Kant was evil, okay, and what he did was very wrong, okay. Anyways, that'll be it for part 1 of Ayn Rand. Got a lot more good stuff coming up for her in subsequent days. Hope you found that helpful.